All right, so I got Monday, 8th of May. So that's Friday and that's Thursday. I've got gold in front of me. And as you know, last week we had Monday and Tuesday for gold. So that's your Monday and Tuesday, making all the way up into Thursday. And then Friday it came down for a retracement, which is all good. So that worked out fine. This is your first Astro hour for today. It's at 10 o'clock. I'm going to put them down in the members area as usual. Okay, and then you can follow them through. Now, today there is a bit of a gap up here, right? So the market should spike up somewhere and fill it in. All right, so it's either going to be there. Also, as you know, last week's highs are also going to be a place the market will want to check in. So if it comes down, okay, then you can also check in again to see if we can go low on this, okay? And then if it comes back down, we're okay actually to break out as well. This zone is important. I will talk about it in the members area, okay? Because it looks like there's going to be a disruption after lunchtime and beyond the opening of New York. So we might kind of sizzle upwards and find ourselves at a high in the evening and ready to reverse from that zone. Okay. Also, tomorrow will be important for gold, so be mindful. So if you want to go long, what you got to do is there are no gaps here. So what you might want to do is either going to come down to this zone. Okay. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly, we're right on the support there. The resistance is 72.53, which is 2055. So I'm going to put 2055 up there. 2055. That's going to be our weekly. Okay, the support side of that, we are right on 68, 2016. So that 2016, if it breaks down, let's call it the low of Asia. Okay, because it's breached it underneath 2016. That's it. Okay, there. On the weekly, right? So if we start to push down, 59 is going to be a target. 1972. It's a bit far down there, 1972, but I'm going to put it as a target there. Okay. On the monthly, we are in a new month here. As you can see, we had that 65, which is 2073, which the market already did. Okay, up there, as you know. All right, 2073. That was on the monthly, and that was 2073 there. Okay, so the market did that already. So going up for a retest of the weekly, coming back, those are all options. And if it does, we're going to be sellers, right? From there to there. So this is the daily. On the daily, I've got 74, which is 2,124. 2,124. I don't see us going there unless we break above that, so I'm going to keep that out of our way. Is there a support down here? It's going to be that 46, 1991. So we're going to make sure 1991 is down here. All right, so we've got room to come down into 1991. And this place, like I said, is not a bad place to kind of swing. Okay, this is not a bad place to sell with a tight stop loss. It's a weekly pivot, but there is a gap here. Okay, and you see that gap could probably be filled in. Okay, but in any case, this should be taken. Yeah, because the gap is either going to be taken out there, there, or it's going to go into that zone where they sold off before. All right, so there's a bit of a disruption happening, but until then, you could take an intraday trade with stuff like this. Okay, and then at the highs, we should be therefore selling either here or on the PST levels, like I said. Okay, let's take a look at the euro dollar. With the euro dollar today, this is where we're at. Now here you got the big push down, so let's mark this level in our technical analysis. Okay, so we might have a market that spikes up into that zone. Let's first check out the weekly. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of a breakout there. This zone for us is a sell zone. Okay, tomorrow is going to be important for euro dollar. Today is going to be, let me just check. Yeah, because of certain aspects. On the monthly, it's also up here, as you can see, pretty much on there. Let's see where we are on the daily. Okay, on the daily, as you can see, we're in the middle of nowhere. So selling can either be here or there, which is 63 and 66. So 1.1102, 1141. So 1.1102, 1141. So these are going to be your levels, okay? And that's basically it. Now, what can you do with this? Let's see. Today's Monday. Okay, and the market went into there. So what you could do is this. If the market comes down, which it should from this level, look, if you think about it, this is where they sold off. And we're right at an astro hour. This is a sell situation. This should bring you back down into this zone, okay? There's a bit of a gap here, okay? And that's fine, but this is not a lot. It's not a huge gap, you see, between this and that, okay? It's not a huge gap. This is worth taking with a tight stop loss. What you could do is go either wait for a U-turn, or obviously wait for this hour bar to finish here and then take it from there. You can go to a small time frame. If it comes down on the 1 minute, goes back up, you can sell it off again. It should come back into this zone. Now this zone is going to be important, as you can see, okay, because this is breaking above the high of that, okay, and it hasn't kind of pulled back yet. So just wait for this bar to end here. It's a 15-minute chart, and then we should pop back down here. Okay, this also includes the daily opening there. So this zone should be a place where the market should come back down to. Now that level is a bit up there, as you can see, and that's fine because we're in the middle of nowhere. Okay, this is still takeable, okay, but you got to understand we're going to have a disruptive zone which is from here to there. Okay, so that zone is going to be disruptive, where we could expect a breakout to happen. Okay, so this is the zone. I'm going to mark this in as well. I marked this in gold. For gold, I marked this, and let me mark it in for this as well. Okay, so let's write in there, insert text here. Let's call it disruption. Okay, so that's there, and that should end pretty much on this bar here. Okay, so this zone is going to be a bit tricky, so be mindful. Okay, from the highs, we'd like to sell the euro dollar as well. From there, we could get up onto that PST. Would like to see that go there. Also, like I said, tomorrow is going to be interesting for everything. Okay, so be mindful. So if it pulls back into an astro hour down here, you could also go long up. Okay. If it goes up first, you sell. If it comes down first, you buy to go up there, and then we'll sell during the week there somewhere. US 30. This is US 30. Now then, let's take a look at the week. Now, that was a nice fall last week, as you can see. We talked about this zone being a sell zone, so no real dramas there. That level is 57.34.172, which is going to be just 34.172 there, which is pretty much retesting last week's high. Are there gaps here? Let me just check it out. Just a slight one, actually, not a huge one, but yeah, last week, because it did fill in. and maybe just here a little bit, so that's fine. So we'd like to sell from there. If you want to go up there, you can. That's an astro hour, as you can see. Also, guys, the thing is, if you know financial astrology, if you took it from me, and if you're looking at the Asia hours, you should have gotten the hours for today. Okay, for example, you should have had 4:55:30. You should have had these hours there. Okay, also you should have had 2:25, which should be somewhere here. There, that was the top. Okay, so 2:25 market coming into 5:36, and then 8 o'clock, 7:35 to be precise, which should be right there. Okay, right on the weekly pivot, you should have been in the game here. Okay, if you've taken it from me. Now, because I'm giving it UK Open, as you can see, it's like a bit of a drama. Okay, getting those Asia hours. So that's how it is. So on the daily, we've got that 63 and 67, 34, 368, 761. 34, 368. It's going to be about there. All right, so we've got a bit of room to pop up, test the high, and take out any stops, and then push down. And the last one on that was, let's just mark it in, because the market does push sometimes, 34,761. So 34,761 is a bit too out there, as you can see. But hey, you know, if it does a sudden move up, at least you know what you want to sell. Okay, and that's a legitimate spot to sell. So we should be going up there. Okay, so you want to buy from these levels with a tight stop loss, and that's fine. At the end of the day, afterwards, where should we come back to? Your zone is going to be here. It's the daily pivot. Okay, and also probably slightly lower here in there. If the market does sell off, let's do this. Where would we get down to? Yeah, I rather go up first to sell down, because we already did that. Remember last week I said I don't want to be a seller down here somewhere, and then on Friday the market like shot up. Okay, so well, we still have room to come down, so I'm still looking for the market to sell off. Okay, so if we get back up into this zone high of last week, you know, we want to be selling. You see how the swing broke, right? So going back up here now is going to be this zone here. Okay, and that should be there. Okay, so going up to sell is good. Let's take a look at SP 500, NASDAQ, and Bitcoin. Also, guys, when I put the swing days in, be careful when they're coming in, because, like I said, this week, tomorrow is going to be interesting for everyone. All right, let's see. Right, an SP 500. This is SP 500. Now, last week we had those levels, I think, on the PST, and that's fine. Okay, as you can see there. And Thursday, as you know, was a swing day for SP 500 last week, and that's your swing day there. Okay, right on the target into Friday, and that's fine. Now, what do we want to see? Let's take a look. Now, this zone we talked about before, so the market came down there, and that's fine. Now I want to see it popping up there, and we can resell again. So the levels you want to look out for are 63 and 66, 4,200 and 238. So you got 4,000 200, 199 to be precise, and 238 is there. All right, and that's fine. This will take you up into this zone, and this is your first zone. That's logical. See, look at that. That's where your manipulation bar is, and you want to be taking in that zone. Okay, no problemo. As you can see, this will be your first sell zone here, and then that to take out the high of last week and then sell off. Okay, now with NASDAQ, okay, so selling at the highs is the option. SP 500, same thing. That's what we're going to do. All right, selling the highs. Now, selling the highs could mean, like I said, today, tomorrow, we're happy to look out for the highs. Okay, sorry, Tuesday and Wednesday, not today, tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, but if it does come out here, these will be sell levels. If before going up, it comes down first into an astral where you can go long, note there's a gap here, so it should fall back later on into this indecision bar. Okay. If you want to keep it narrow, you can do, well, you need to do that because that's the gap. And that's the manipulation bar. So it's a bit big, okay, but if you've got astro hours on your side, it's fine. Okay, wait for the astro hours to come in, and you can turn in from here. On the downside of things, we've got 38 here. Let's check out the weekly. Now the weekly, as you can see, 4,178, 4,178. That's going to be interesting for us. Okay, so this is it as well. That's on the weekly, so that's interesting. So keep that perspective. Okay, and slightly higher, we've got that 60 zone there. 4,193. Okay, 60, 50, 4,193 on the weekly. So this zone is going to be interesting. All right, guys, if we're in here, we're definitely sellers. All right, and this should be a target zone for us. Okay, remember, this is now a target zone. You want to be buying to push up there, and then we can look for a sell here as well, and make sure you do it on a swing day from the highs. NASDAQ. Oh, sorry, we didn't look at the lows. Let's see, we've got 38 down here, 4,020. So this should sizzle down into 4,020 afterwards. And then let's see what I've got on the weekly. I've got 52, 4,069. Well, 4,069, I better keep that in mind. And that's fine there. All right, and that's also, you see where I'm marked in there. So I said it's a bit big, but what can you do? All right, that's just how it is. 4,069 has got to be in there. All right, nice and easy. So if it goes up, then we'll be selling to push into there. NASDAQ, nice. NASDAQ, let's check out the weekly first. Now we're on the weekly, 63, 13,327. 13,327 is there. All right, so that's your target on the weekly. Let's just check out the monthly. On the monthly, have I got 13,563? Sorry, 593. 13,593 is a bit out there, as you can see. Oops. 13,593 is a bit out there, but this, I'm happy to trade this actually on a swing day, which could be for any index. So if we end up here somewhere, look for a sell spot or a reversal setup according to how we've learned it in technical analysis. If you didn't learn technical analysis from me, you can use whatever technique you do, because these will be even highs. Taking out the stops, and you would want to sell it off to come down, and then Nasdaq should sizzle down right into here. Okay, so that's that. On the daily, 66, 13,373, 13,373 is going to be just there. What about here? Well, I'm not going to be too pedantic. It's going to be that in this zone. Okay, so that's the zone there where if at astro hours we want to be selling. Okay, if it goes beyond there, then don't muck around with it. But that zone is also technically looking logical from this perspective as well. Okay, and that's fine in there. 13.3. Yeah, this zone, as you can see. So I'm happy to be sellers selling here at these levels as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, I said this was a sell zone. So, and if you're selling from the highs, you should be okay. Your first target is going to be that 56, 27, 352. 27, 352. If you're using ATAM, you know where you're going anyway. 27, 352. All right, somewhere around there. Okay, and that's good. So any push up, you want to be selling forward down. As you know, I've got these levels here. So the market, I said it should break below this level, so we're expecting the market to break down. No big deal. There was liquidity here, as you can see, so they took out the stops, nice and easy, coming down into this zone. Okay, so we should break below this. We should push downwards. Okay, as you can see on the daily, we've got that 37 looking hot there, which is, let's take a look at that price, 27,100. Okay, and 27,100 is going to be just around here. All right, so we should go down into that zone, and below that you got 34.53, 26,589, which is a bit down there. So if we come down, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, but that's looking like okay to do so. On the monthly, as you can see, you've got like a low there at 44, which could take us all the way into 21,300. Okay, 2,000, 21,300. So once we start breaking down, we'll come to that. We'll cross that bridge. Okay. So as you can see, the market broke below there, and the place you want to be looking out for is that weekly level there. As you can see, there's a big pull down. It's been happening around here. Okay, so from the daily, weekly, you want to be taking it up in order to sell. One of the things you need to look out for is let's see. Yeah, your good buy is at 48, 28,573. 28,573 is going to be there. On the weekly, you don't have a place. On the monthly, what's that? LCL1 28,616. 28,616 is going to be pretty much there. All right, so this zone and this zone, okay? And that's basically it. If it starts breaking below that, then you know we've got room to push down, which is what I'm anticipating, because I told you about this like, days ago, many days ago. Last week I drew that for you as well, so you should be selling from the highs if you did so, fine.